Attorneys for former Vice President Mike Pence revealed that a small number of classified documents were discovered at his Indiana home last week. The classified documents were found on January 16th, following Pence's own decision to allow outside counsel to take a look at his home and his records, just to be sure. President Biden and former President Donald Trump are both under investigation now regarding classified materials. Now, for more on the discovery of documents at Mike Pence's home, the investigation into President Biden and classified documents, and for former President Trump, who else has classified documents? Mitchell Epner, do you have any classified documents, sir?
I'm confident that I have no classified documents in my house because I'm confident I've never had a classified document. Anyone who can't make that statement shouldn't.
Right, but I feel like these men were pretty confident they didn't have them, and they did. So I'm kind of curious is if this surprises you at all, or maybe we should just expect more of this to happen.
So I have to admit that I'm surprised because Vice President Pence was foolish enough to flex, saying in an interview with Larry Kudlow that he had no such documents. And then his bluff was called, and it turned out he had those documents. So I guess I shouldn't be surprised that Vice President Pence said something stupid, but he did.
50 million classified documents are created a year. That's like one every 3 seconds. And I just kind of wonder, I realize things are classified for a reason, but are too many things classified? Is this unreasonable? Is it impossible to keep track of?
So, yes, too many classified documents are created. Yes, it's unreasonable. No, it's not impossible to take track of, but in order to make certain you kept track of everything, you would have to deprioritize lots of other really important things, like the adequate functioning of the rest of the government.
Did you ever have a security clearance?
I never had a security clearance. That's the only reason I'm positive that I don't have any classified documents, because I've never had one. Anyone who has ever had a classified document, unless they can literally say this is the one day that I had one and I specifically remember giving it back, shouldn't say I don't have any classified documents. It's just not a reasonable thing to do if you're handling classified documents all the time.
But wouldn't you think you would know? That's the crazy thing to me. You mentioned a flex, but like, I would believe someone like yourself if you said, I know I never had any, and I would believe a politician that says, I don't have any, and then I'd be surprised if he's wrong. Like, it's Mitch, shocking to me.
Let me give you an example. For most people, being on television would be an extraordinarily memorable thing. If somebody asked you if you were on television on a particular date, there's no way you could know. It's what you do for a living. Handling classified documents is what people at certain levels in the government do for a living. It's as memorable as whether or not you brushed your teeth on a certain day.
Wow, that is a really good comparison. I guess if all you ever handle is classified documents, you kind of lose the importance of it, right?
Well, not the importance, but you lose the ability to remember any specific one.
Yeah, maybe the remarkability of it. Will we ever get a hint here? Now, given, again, these are classified documents, but for example, I'm thinking of the FBI taking pictures and sharing them with the media of the cover sheets of what they found at Mar-a-Lago. Will we ever really have any idea what is in any of the documents because they're classified? Can we even get a hint so that we might be able to compare and contrast the severity of these infractions here between Trump, Biden, Pence, and whoever else we might end up finding out has documents?
So the answer on that one's yes, because we have, with regard to Trump and Biden, we certainly aren't going to see in detail, but because both Trump and Biden have special prosecutors, there will either be a prosecution or at a minimum, there'll be a report. And the report will at least give a glimmer of what was in the documents. Obviously, if there's an actual prosecution, we'll know in more detail. And at that point, the defense ordinarily tries to make the case impossible to prosecute by saying the whole document has to be presented to the jury for the jury to be able to understand what this case is about.
But will it matter? Will it matter the compare and contrast of the severity of these documents when it comes time for a prosecution or potentially not prosecution?
I think it certainly will matter if there are competent defense attorneys. And ordinarily, with a former president of the United States, that would be a given. Donald Trump seems very enamored with putting forward incompetent defense attorneys and taking the competent defense attorneys he has and putting them to the side. Any competent defense attorney would make certain that the jury knew, if he's indicted, jury knew that other politicians had similar situations and try to say that you shouldn't believe beyond a reasonable doubt that Trump knew he was doing something wrong, or he knew that he had classified documents, or he knew this, or he knew that, because it's what everybody does. It's also possible that the attorneys that Trump has will just yell at the jury and say it's all a witch hunt.
Well, we'll have to see what their legal strategy is if we come to that. Right now, we're still not even sure we have all the documents. But that is Mitchell Epner. He's a member of the firm Rottenberg, Littman, Rich, PC. He's also a former federal prosecutor. Thank you for joining us again this week.
Thank you so much.